Thanks, John. Really appreciate your all's time today. And the good news as far as benefits go, there's not a ton of changes this year. But, last year we did make some changes, but most of your all stuff is in what is considered a rate hold. So, as John said, my name is Brian. We have our team on the phone is Jonathan Estes and Brenda Evans are out of our Owensboro office as well. So we work with Jody and Kendra and Christy on y'all's benefits package, and we're kind of your go-between. If you have any questions or anything that Jody and Christy can't answer, then we jump in and get involved for you guys. So we'll just kind of jump right in. For that, please feel free to ask questions. I'll try to wrap up pretty quick and open it up for questions and go from there. So this is y'all's open enrollment time frame. And simply what that means is this is the time of year for you guys to make changes, make your elections for 2021. The actual open enrollment dates are November 9th through Friday, November 20th. So you've got a couple weeks to look at everything, make changes, and go from there. We'll kind of go through and the benefit guide and everything today, and hopefully just kind of give you a pretty wide range overview and so forth. So I believe everybody's got the packet either by email or by hard copy that we're going over, but obviously if you have questions, we can dive right into it. So we'll just kind of go through the guide. Of course, you guys are eligible. If you're full-time, eligible is 30 hours or more. And obviously, if you're part-time employees, then you're eligible as well. And there's a different allotment or a different flex money available for part-time versus a full-time, based upon that, obviously. You're eligible for benefits first a month following 90 days of employment. So I'm assuming most of the folks on this call are probably long-term employees. So for new hires, if there's any new hires on the phone, then that would be eligible for benefits first a month after 90 days. Do want to spend a little bit of time talking about this ICHRA. We introduced this last year, and last year was actually the first year that the ICHRA was available. So what is it? The ICHRA is it's individual coverage for health reimbursement arrangement. As you all know, St. Anthony's does not offer a traditional group health plan. They offer, they're basically giving you all an allotment of money based on your full-time, part-time status that you guys can spend on whatever your benefits needs are for you and your family. So what the ICHRA does, it's a HRA, it's a reimbursement account that is set up if you were to go out and purchase an individual health coverage through the exchange or through the private market and for your health insurance, then you could use that money, the flex money available from St. Anthony's, to reimburse yourself for that premium. That really makes it a pretty flexible option for you all. And then as always, St. Anthony's wants you to use that money that they give you in whatever form or fashion makes sense for you and your family. So if you don't need health insurance, you have coverage elsewhere through a spouse or whatever, then by all means you don't need the ICHRA. But if you're purchasing your individual plan through the exchange or however you're purchasing that, then you could use those funds to reimburse yourself for that health plan out there. Now, one thing to keep in mind is because technically, when you receive the reimbursement from St. Anthony's, that does prevent you from receiving the tax credits in the individual marketplace. So keep that in mind as you're looking through your options out there. So it's either or. Either you get the subsidy in the individual marketplace, or you could use the funds available from St. Anthony's, and then the subsidy would go away. So that may be one piece that may be a little confusing, is you cannot do both, obviously, there. So, but that is for purchase of qualified health insurance premiums. And with that, because that's probably the most complicated piece we'll talk about today, I want to pause just for a second and answer questions. Or Jody, if you want to reiterate anything that I missed in that, please jump in.
I think, no, I'm good. I think anybody have any questions about that? And it's like Brian said, you guys will have packets and I mean, you'll have a few weeks, like, open enrollment will officially start next week. You guys will have some time to sit down and figure out what you want, which is great. And we're always here to answer questions if you need them answered. So,
Right.
if there are no questions, Brian, go ahead.
Super. Well, I know that is fairly new. We introduced that last year, so we do want to spend a few minutes on that. So obviously, if any questions come up, you guys start looking at your options, feel free to reach out to us, and we'll be glad to answer those. Or you can email us at any time, and we'll get back to you on those. So with that, we'll kind of go into the rest of the benefit guide. Again, not a lot of changes. Most everything is pretty much stable this year. You guys have the life insurance amount. $50,000 available there as a full-time employee. You do have the opportunity for short-term disability there as well, and those are all with Mutual of Omaha. The voluntary life, which most of you took out life insurance last year, up to the $100,000 of guarantee issue. That there's no change in rate there unless you hit one of the 5-year age bands. So if you turn, 35, 40, 45, 50, you will have a little bit of increase because that is 5-year age banded up there. If you're already at $100,000, you can go above that, but anything above the $100,000 amount, you will have to complete an evidence of insurability form on. Now that is a simple yes and no health questions. Basically they're going to ask you if you've been diagnosed with any major ongoing illnesses and so forth out there. If you are under the $100,000 amount, so last year if you enrolled in say 50,000 and you would like to bump that, you can bump it at open enrollment up to $20,000 without doing a questionnaire. So if you think, hey, I took 50 last year, but I'd like to increase that to 70,000 as an example, you could do that without filling out a form at your open enrollment there. That is not available for spouses. Spouses can increase their coverage in increments of 5,000, but you would have to do an evidence of insurability on that. And then if there's any children that you wanted to add at that $10,000 level, you could do that as well during your open enrollment time frame. So one thing I always encourage anybody to take a look at during open enrollment, take a look at your beneficiaries on your election form that'll be included in your packet. If you need to make a change in beneficiaries, please do that on that form. A lot of people, you go through the year and, life situations change, so maybe you need to change your beneficiary. This is a great time to remind yourself to do all of that as well. And then also on, the disability, there's two options on disability. You have the short-term and long-term there as well. Those are employer paid from St. Anthony's. So you have pretty good disability protection. The short-term piece of that is if you were to go off due to an accident or illness after you've been off work 7 days, and that will pay you 60% of your pay until you return to work, or a maximum of 12 weeks. And then obviously if you're still off due to ongoing illness or injury, then the long-term kicks in after that, after the 90 days, and that will pay you 60% of your pay up to $5,000 a month until age 65 or your Social Security retirement age there as well. So again, all of those are benefits. The life policy, the STD and the LTD are benefits paid by St. Anthony's Hospice for you. You absorb the cost of the additional life insurance that we just covered for you. Going on to the next page is your vision coverage through VSP. No changes there for you. Again, that is a voluntary benefit for you. The purpose of your vision insurance is to help you pay for glasses or contacts. That plan will give you an eye exam once a year for $10 copayment, frames every 2 years, which up to $120 retail allowance. And then obviously, if you select a set of frames more than the $120 allowance, then you'll pay a little bit more for those as well. Lenses for your glasses is a $25 copayment once a year, or you can use your benefit for contact lenses and up to $120 allowance there as well. Your per paid cost is listed in the guide there, starting at $404 up to a family coverage of $1,051. The dental benefits is with Delta Dental again this year. You have an annual benefit of $1,200. That means that each person enrolled can get dental benefits up to $1,200 a year. Preventive covered at 100%. That means everybody would get their 2 cleanings and 1 set of X-rays a year at no cost. Minor and major services is both covered at 50%. And the plan pays 50% and you would pay 50% up to that annual maximum of $1,200 there. And notice endodontics and periodontics is included at the 50% level. And then also child orthodontics is included. So children needing orthodontics up to age 19 is on that coverage as well. Employee only cost there is $13.35 per pay up to 3 family members of $47.65, and you pick and choose what you need there as well. Going on to the next page, obviously you guys have had AFLAC available to you guys. Again, the purpose of AFLAC is to help you round out your benefits package. Some of you have this coverage today. If you have it and you don't want to make any changes, it really just rolls over. There's no anything you need to do. But if you need to take out coverage, then obviously we can fill that out on the form and put you guys in touch with the AFLAC rep as well. A couple of purposes on that. The accident plan, that's to help you if your family members get hurt in an accident. That'll pay you back a benefit based upon whatever that accident or injury is out there. Cancer coverage is available as well. And again, whatever health plan you're on obviously covers the bulk of the cancer costs, but really the cancer plan is to help you absorb some of the extra costs associated with cancer treatment, going through diagnosis, treatment. A lot of times there's some travel expenses, there's time off work, there's maybe if you have an extensive cancer treatment, you may have to, your family members may have to take off work to take you back and forth. So that's the purpose of a cancer plan, is to help with some of the additional costs with that. You have a couple options there, a high and low option, and you can kind of see the cost there, starting at $766 up to as much as $2,660 for family coverage on the higher plan. Again, your AFLAC rep can go over any details of that with you. Critical illness works. It's basically a $10,000 benefit based upon the major illnesses such as heart attack, stroke, end-stage renal, paralysis, organ transplant, or coma. And again, those are paid out, just a bulk benefit paid out on those. Those are age-banded rates. So the earlier you buy that product, the earlier you buy it, the cheaper it's going to be. And then that locks in that price for you as well. Hospital confinement would pay you up to $1,000 for if you were to go inpatient hospitalized for more than 23 hours. And then there it gives you a little bit more benefit on your rehabilitation, emergency room, and so forth. Again, you see Kayla's information there. If you need to reach out to her, get more information on that. And obviously we can arrange a call or whatever you need if you need help with those pieces as well. The next piece in the packet there, which you guys see on the screen, is basically the change form that you guys fill out. If you need to make changes there, just fill that out. One thing I will note right now, last year we introduced the Navigator online system for you guys. This year we will be doing it by paper, simply because it's sometimes things are technology-wise, some things are just easier done on paper. There was Jody and Kendra and Christy, their goal is always to allow you all to use St. Anthony's flex amount that they give you in whatever form or fashion that you need to use it in. The Navigator system presented some challenges by letting you do all the variables out there. So because of that, we're going back to paper and trying to streamline that for everybody and just make it easier and easier to understand. So this form here that you guys will receive in your packet is basically all you need to fill out. If you want to keep everything the same, you see those noted there, just make those notes there. If you want to make changes, just select those and go right down the line for you, trying to make it as simple as possible for you. Sign and date that form. The next form is your actual benefit election form, where you can fill in the cost of whatever you're taking out, designate how you want that money coming out, either payroll. If you notice, for example, on the AFLAC portion there, AFLAC, do you want it payroll deducted, or do you want to use your flex money that St. Anthony's gives you for that particular product? Same thing on dental and vision. You guys have those options available to you, and just kind of go down through the line there as well. Obviously, if you want to choose it for the ICRA, you see that selected right there in the middle of the page, the amount of flex money to use for that. So if you wanted to use all of it, or just a portion of it in that health insurance reimbursement account, you can do that. And then obviously at the bottom of the page, if you wanted to use your flex money for your 401k, you can do that as well. So really, it's a very versatile benefits platform that you guys have, whether you want to spend your money through payroll deduction or use the flex money that St. Anthony's gives you as well. Any dependent information, and Jody, Christy, I'm assuming if they're not making any changes, we don't necessarily need their dependent information. They would only need to include dependent information if they're adding dependents on something, right? Is that correct?
Yes, they will only on this election form. Yeah. If they are adding new or changing anything, we need this. I want to make sure that everybody understands if you guys are putting your spouse or your kids on there, we will need their social security numbers and dates of birth as well. I think Christy's had some difficulty getting those. And I understand that you might not necessarily know your spouse's or your child's social security number, but we will need that in order to get them enrolled in these benefits. So
great. Okay. So that's basically that, and that right there is the part of the form where if you wanted to update your beneficiary on their base life policy, then that's where you do that as well. And sign and date, obviously coverage out there. And then kind of going through the rest of the packet here that you guys will receive, we'll have more information on your AFLAC, kind of more detailed information, quite a bit of information. And I won't take up everybody's time on this. If you want to make changes to AFLAC, there's a form in there to do that. You can enroll that and answer questions there. And obviously, if you have questions for that, you can. Included in your packet will also be the more formal, full details of your Delta Dental and your vision coverage and so forth. So lots of information in that packet. I won't spend everybody's time on this call to go through that, but that you guys will have plenty of information on all that. So with that, I'll kind of stop and answer questions or let Jody and or Kendra any follow up on anything.
I do want to reiterate that if anybody wants to sign up for AFLAC, they must meet with the rep, and her information is in the packet. And everybody that is eligible for benefits, we have got to have this signed form. Like even if you're not changing or you are electing not to go with benefits with us, we have got to get that checked up here and signed and dated down here. So if you're just want to leave everything the same, or if you're declining to participate, we still have to have that form on record. And it seems like every year there are a few that don't turn that in that Christy has to hunt down. So I just wanted to let you guys know that we've got to have those forms. It's very important. Are there any questions right now?
We'll distribute the packets starting today.
The packets will be out, will go out starting today. So you guys will get some time before open enrollment officially begins to look through that stuff. And if you have questions, please let us know. And we're here to help you through this process. I know it's confusing and it's convoluted. Christy is an expert on our benefits as well. So if you have questions, please look her up or look me up and we'll help you out. So does anybody have any?
I just want to say thank you to Brian for coming on and explaining all of this to everyone. We've recorded it. And so if you know, we're going to send it out to the entire team. If you have questions or if you want to go back, you can watch the recording. After, I think John's recording it through the go-to meeting. So in the process, just give us a shout if you have any questions. But Brian, thanks. That was very well explained. We appreciate it very much.
Yes, absolutely. Thank you guys for partnering with us.
Yeah, great. Thanks so much. Really enjoy working with you guys. Obviously, when you guys get your package, you have any questions at all, Brian, Jonathan, and Brenda in our office are available to help. I think, Jody and Kendra and Christy have worked really hard on trying to make it as flexible as possible and a really good benefits package with all the things that you guys have to pick and choose from. So with that, it gets a little confusing sometimes. So if you have questions arise or any little thing that Jody or Chrissy cannot answer, please reach out. Other than that, stay safe out there. Hope everybody's doing well in this environment. So thanks for your time, and feel free to reach out to us anytime.
Thank you.
Thank you all.